Hey guys, Razorblade Mango here, and welcome back to Diving into Kingdom Hearts, the month-long podcast series throughout the month of January leading up to Kingdom Hearts 3 that goes back and looks through all the other games in the franchise before 3 comes out at the end of the month. So this is episode number 4, which means today we're going to be talking about Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance, and we're going to be talking about key slash back cover. And joining me, as always, is Richard.
Yes, or otherwise known as the richest man.
So I guess we'll start with Dream Drop Distance, which obviously I think it came before Key. I know Key
I
was out a
mean,
long time in
I
Japan
mean,
before it reached the
yeah,
States, but I'm
yeah, it was. It
okay.
was actually a web browser game.
Ugh. I'm pretty sure Dream Drop Distance, because Dream Drop Distance came out in 2012. Yeah, July 2012 in the States.
2012 in the States.
It came out March 2012 in Japan. So, if people think that the 4-day gap between the Japan and American release dates for Kingdom Hearts 3 is bad, remember there was a time where we had to wait literal months to get the Kingdom Hearts games before Japan did, or after Japan
Do
did.
you want to start off, or do you want me to start off?
Let's have you start off because I always start off with the first games, but I'll have you start off with this one.
Okay. Here's the thing. Me and Drink Drop Distance. I played this game twice. First time on 3DS,
Mhm.
second time on PS4 in the 2.8 remaster.
Okay.
And I'm gonna tell you, I liked it more as a 3DS game than a PS4 game.
Why
controller
is
wise.
why is that?
I don't know, cause like when I was playing it on the PS4, it just like some of the features just felt kind of weird.
Mhm.
Like I know it's a 3DS game, and you know how Square Enix is with their ports sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, at least I mean the port wasn't like super shitty, but it like
No.
everything, like even like the mini games, like for the Dream Eaters, it the controls felt better on the 3DS
Mhm.
than on the PS4.
Well, it is natively designed to be a handheld, like
No,
Birth
yeah,
by
yeah,
Sleep.
yeah. That's why. That's
Yeah.
why. And I wish they could have made the to scroll down through all your magic. I wish I
Hmm.
wish or all your whole command list. I wish they
Mhm.
could have made it like they did with the Birth by Sleep port, but instead they left it with the D-pad like it was in the 3DS version. I was like,
Mm.
why didn't they just switch it like to the Birth by Sleep to like the Birth by Sleep port? And
I don't know.
so it would have made more sense, and it was much more easier that way. But like the fact that like I had to like run and then like scroll and then it's weird. Like I had my thumb on the control stick,
Mhm.
and then I had like my finger on the D-pad, like scrolling down as I
Mhm.
would run. And I was able to pull that off, but still, like it would have been better if they had like if the command list was more controllable through the L2 and R2,
Yeah,
like it was with the Birth by Sleep port.
that definitely would have been much better.
It would have been much better because even on the 3DS version there was an issue with the command list because like if you like you still had to scroll down with the D-pad, but if you had like the if you had at the time they Nintendo released an extra analog stick attachment, and you were able to scroll down through the command list with that, and it made it much better.
Yeah. It.
And even with the new
Mm,
3DS XL, like it's easier because of the little C pad, whatever. I don't think
the
it's a
C
real C
stick.
stick. Yeah, it's easier, but still, like I wish they could have just done better with the command list
So
controls.
my first time going through it, like you, was on the 3DS, because like I said, this was the only reason that I bought a 3DS, like just for
Oh
this,
yeah,
just for this game. I didn't care about Pokemon. I didn't care about Mario Kart. I didn't care about any Nintendo stuff. This was the reason I spent like $200 on a 3DS at the time, and it was the original 3DS, which eh. So the first time I went through this, I loved it. Like I loved it when I first played it. And all I remember really as far as control wise is that my fingers hurt like a bitch when I was done playing it. Like that Beatles song, a Helter Skelter, that ends with Ringo shouting out, "I got blisters on my fingers." That's how I felt with playing Dream Drop Distance on the 3DS. Like it hurt playing it because of how fast it was. And you had to not only do it with the fucking control stick and all that, you had to deal with the second screen and all the shit stuff during the bosses where you had to focus and cut certain wires like it was Operation or something. It was just fast, and you had to be fast or else you're fucked.
Touchscreen? I mean, I don't really. Oh wait. I mean, I don't remember too much using the touchscreen.
Yeah, there's a lot that you have to use with the touchscreen on the 3DS, especially on the final bosses when they start doing some of their attack pattern stuff, especially with young Xehanort when he does the time stop, and you have to cut through little specific areas on the like the chains that he's got on the touchpad. But if you fail to cut them, it like restarts and sets back some of his health. Which, fuck. Fuck.
I never missed. I used to never miss that.
No, I did because I was playing on like the higher difficulties, which.
I played it on what mode did you play it on?
I played it on standard the first time on 3DS, and standard again, and then I did proud mode. So I've done it. I played it 3 times. Yeah, 3 times I've played it.
Oh, I started off on proud mode. I played it both times on proud mode. It's not that hard.
It is hard. It's a difficult game, especially if you are under leveled. Like you could get by being under leveled in the past games. Even on standard, this game kicks your ass if you're not prepared going into it. Like it's hard. It's probably the hardest Kingdom Hearts game out of all of them.
Is it?
Yes, it is. It absolutely is. It's not the most difficult thing I've ever played, but in terms of Kingdom Hearts, oh yeah, this is absolutely the hardest one.
Just base story wise, not counting the secret bosses.
No, even counting the secret boss, it's I don't know if Julius or Julian or whatever the hell his name is. He's definitely not the hardest secret boss in the series at all.
No,
not by a mile, but the main campaign itself, I think, is much more difficult than 2 or Birth by Sleep or even 1. I think Dream Drop Distance is fucking punishing if you aren't fast and if you aren't careful and if you are not properly prepared going into it.
I mean, it wasn't super hard.
Without spamming Balloonra or Balloonga or whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah, I actually had to do that.
No, I don't do that. That's not how the game's meant to be played. No.
I mean, you
don't
can't force someone to play the way.
No, you can't. but that inherently is a problem with Dream Drop Distance. So I said the first time, I really loved it. Then I played through it the second time, and I noticed some big ass problems the second time around, especially playing it on proud mode. I was like, oh my god, there are so many caveats with this game. I think it's still a fun game. It's good for the most part. I still like it, but like like every other game in this franchise, it has some big ass problems. Like I think honestly, like going through them all again, I think the only game in this series that I unequivocally love is 2. Like 1 I really like, but that has big ass problems. Chain of Memories has big ass problems. Recoded has big ass problems. 358 has big ass problems. Birth by Sleep especially has big ass problems. And Dream Drop Distance absolutely has problems. Like all of them have problems except like big ass problems except 2. I think 2, and I know it's unpopular. I know people are tired of everyone sucking 2's dick, but 2 is phenomenal. Like I think it's the story and gameplay peak of this series, and pacing. I think it has the best pacing out of all of them. So, but going back to Dream Drop Distance, I have problems with it both on a gameplay perspective and on a campaign perspective. So I'll start. I'll start. Huh? Hmm?
I mean, I liked it better on 3DS more.
I
More
did.
than,
I
more
did
than on
too.
PS4.
I think when you play it on PS4, it's not as clunky as Birth by Sleep. It doesn't have that weird awkwardness that Birth by Sleep has, but it still has problems when on like
Birth
a
by
bigger
Sleep
screen like this.
wasn't really super awkward on PS4.
It's pretty
Super
awkward. You can absolutely tell that
No,
was
it
made.
wasn't.
Yeah, you can. You can tell that was made on a fucking PSP. It's slow.
It is somewhat, but it's not as bad as
slow.
Dream Drop.
It's
It wasn't bad
it's
as Dream
floaty and it's slow.
Ah,
I don't care for the combat all that much.
ah.
But in Dream Drop Distance, so I'll start with the gameplay of what I don't like about the gameplay. Number one, I really don't like the character swapping mechanic that they have here. I hate that there is a timer for it as well. I know that it is narratively relevant that there is a timer attached to these characters, but they were not forced to attach a timer to it. They could have come up with any bullshit gameplay excuse to where you could switch back and forth between these characters whenever you'd like and not have some bullshit timer on it. It's dumb. Also, like I said with Birth by Sleep, I do not care for Kingdom Hearts games that have multiple protagonists because I do not like grinding through the same boring empty worlds over and over and over again, especially in this one. And I'll get to that later. The flow motion is fun. I think the flow motion is good in most cases, but it is unwieldy at times, and it tends to like get out of control at some points, especially when it does not have a stamina meter attached to it, where you can accidentally just constantly flip and fly around the battlefield, which is fun. I will grant you, it is fun to do that, but when your fucking life is on the line and you're going against a boss that requires precise timing, that flow motion can get out of fucking control, especially on harder difficulties. Also, when you are healing in the game, it's not like this in 1, it's not like this in 2, it's not even like this in Dream Drop Distance, but there is a slight delay to the healing in this game. When you are using Kira or Kiraga, there is like a 1 millisecond delay. And that 1 millisecond is crucial. That is the difference between life and death, especially on higher difficulties.
Did you unlock the ability to use your magic?
Yes.
There's an ability that makes it faster.
No, even with that, there is still a delay. There is still
Really?
a slight delay to it.
I was actually pretty fine with it.
There is a slight delay with it. Very slight. Also,
I don't remember.
Oh, well, I fucking can't stand the command menu in this. I do not like these Kingdom Hearts games that have their moves directly attached to a command list, but then I have to go and unlock them, whatever the fuck they're doing, via these stupid Dream Eaters, which I'll get to the Dream Eaters in a bit. And I do not like it because you have to constantly fiddle with the fucking command menu when, again, timing is key, especially in a game this goddamn fast. Like, it is a fast-paced game. Why the hell do I have to fiddle around with this stupid command menu when I just want a simple L1X to fucking heal? I don't want to do it via the fucking command menu where I have to scroll through it, and I do not want to activate my abilities by going through this bullshit, stupid, one-step-further process of unlocking them via the fucking Dream Eaters. Which, speaking of the Dream Eaters, they suck. I'm sorry, the Dream Eaters suck. They are an incredibly poor substitute for Donald and Goofy. Donald and Goofy, like, everyone gives Donald shit for not healing you when you're supposed to. At least Donald fucking heals you. These Dream Eaters are fucking useless. They are useless. They are only there to be cute and to be a gimmick for the 3DS version. They have no place being in this fucking game except as an excuse to tickle a fucking dog Dream Eater like it's Nintendogs. There's no. And unlocking all the abilities, it just takes way too long, it's way too cumbersome, and it poorly explains how you do it. Like really badly it does.
If you did the flick rush, it made it
No,
faster.
fuck Flick Rush. Flick Rush sucks.
I
Complete
like
ass.
Flick Rush.
Even on the
Hey,
3DS, I hated Flick Rush. I do not play Kingdom Hearts to play fucking Beyblade. I don't play it for that.
mini games.
No, mini games have never been the strong point in this series. They never have been. Never have, and this is one of the worst examples of it. I would actually prefer that the board game from Birth by Sleep. At least that was fun. That was like its own like dedicated meta game or side game. This Flick Rush, it sucks. Flick Rush is bullshit. It's bullshit. But even despite all that, I still miraculously, like, it's a fucking miracle that I still like this game to a degree. Maybe it's blind fanboyism. I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe it's in my DNA not to I don't know, not because but then again I've immensely disliked other Kingdom Hearts games. So maybe there is something to it that maybe there is something to Dream Drop Distance. Maybe just because as a mindless grindy action RPG, I like it as like some kind of comfort food almost. But I think in terms of depth and ease of play and convenience, I think it's like 3 steps behind Kingdom Hearts 2. Hell, it's 3 steps behind Kingdom Hearts 1. So what's your rebuttal to that?
Okay, my opinion. So gameplay wise, I will say it is grindy.
Yes, my God.
It is pretty grindy. It's grindy. I wouldn't say not to the
extent that Birth by Sleep is grindy.
Yeah, actually no. It is. It actually is. Because
really?
It's weird. Somewhat. Not really. Somewhat.
Okay.
Somewhat. Not really. Because here's the thing. It's weird. The first time I played Dream Drop Distance, I did enjoy it more. Probably because I knew what I was doing back then. And I had a lot of the abilities unlocked, but at the time, you gotta remember that was only my 3rd Kingdom Hearts game. I don't know, whatever.
Okay.
But even then, as I was unlocking the abilities, I didn't know that there were like other important abilities to unlock. And then the second time I played it, like I wasn't too focused on the Dream Eaters the first time, like I was in the first time. And this time, like once I got to like near to like Xemnas and like Ansem, I had to grind a bit. Like I had to like
they're hard. Those last two bosses
were pretty hard. I had to unlock. I had to make new Dream Eaters.
Yeah.
And then train them.
I don't like.
After that, like I would have to I would unlock new abilities like that. It took a while.
I hate having to make new Dream Eaters. I hate it.
And then I had to what else? I had to do Flick Rush just to get Balloonga. Obviously, that was the only way to get Balloonga.
Yeah,
and then there. I mean, I didn't use. It's weird. I didn't this time around. The first time, I did use a lot of Balloon and Balloonga. The first time. The second time,
they're useful. They are useful, but they're also very like they're an exploit. They're OP as shit too.
Oh yeah, no, Balloon and Balloonga are pretty broken.
Yeah,
it is pretty broken. It was a pretty broken move. Just like how Smart Mine and Mind Shield and Mind Square was in Birth by Sleep.
Yeah,
that move was pretty broken as well. So I would instead this time around, I just told myself like, all right, I'm just gonna use 2 balloons and 1 Balloonga. Not like last time, because I remember I could have swore I used like so many last time. The first time, I don't remember, but that's what I did. And I had Firaga like 2 different times, 3 different Firagas. I don't remember what I had, but I did manage to beat Xemnas still. Took a while. Ansem was a bitch. Ansem took me forever.
I thought Ansem was easier than Xemnas. Xemnas took me a while to grind for that.
No, I thought Ansem was pretty hard. Ansem was pretty harder.
I actually like the last Ventus's Dark Armor is actually the easiest boss It's actually probably the easiest final boss in the whole series.
I had to camp him out. I just used the flow motion. I just went all the way to the top, and then once that one move calmed down, I just went back down and I just kept attacking him.
I didn't do I the way I like playing Dream Drop Distance is I actually like just like using the flow motion how it's meant to, just like the heat of the battle where you're just like zipping and flipping around. I like doing that instead of just balloonga, 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 which, ugh, it's a cheap way to do it.
It's not cheap.
It
I mean,
is
it's
cheap.
a role of the game. You can
It's
do it however
cheap.
you want.
It's cheap. Like, I hate to sound like a fucking thumb up my ass gamer elitist, but balloonga is, come on. it's broken.
So
That's the problem though. Like when there's not a really great skill ceiling in this. Like when you're playing on
okay.
critical mode,
Okay.
it just doesn't have that tightness that 2 does. Like it just doesn't. There's so much about it. Like to use a tired internet term, it is floaty. It absolutely is. Like I do see it. Like especially going back and playing it again. But again, it's just like the best strategy is not always the most fun, which is my problem with Dream Drop Distance. Like when you're like camping out the enemies and using balloonga, it's like yeah, that'll help you win, but it's not fun because there's no strategy to it. You're just doing the same shit
I mean, it is,
over
I
and
mean,
over
it is
again.
strategy. I mean, you can't really force anyone to play the way you want them to.
No, I'm not putting that fault on the player. I'm putting that fault on Nomura and the team. I'm not blaming the player for doing that, because that, like, of course you're gonna want to do that. Why wouldn't you? It's the only way to progress through the fucking, well, not the only way, but it's the easiest way to get through some of these boss fights.
I mean, it's not. I mean, I didn't camp them out the entire time.
No, but it is the fault of Nomura and the team.
There were a few times when I did, but then once I saw an opening, like I would go in.
Yeah. So,
Obviously. I
um,
play defensive and offensive sometimes.
no, I just play
But,
full offensive. That's the one that's the more fun for me.
oh,
So,
what was it?
but
But the thing, okay, and also I have to disagree with you. I love the Dream Eaters.
the
love 'em.
little fuckers, I hate them.
Hey.
The only use they're ever gonna have is that special attack in 3. That's the only one that's gonna be useful. Well, not the only one, but it's the only time they're gonna be useful.
I mean, you had to use them for special attacks as well. In
I
Dream Drop.
rarely use special attacks. I found most of them to be useless.
No. They were pretty useful. I used all of them. The first time, I thought,
Especially when you can get hit during them. I don't. Why? What's the point of them if they're not gonna make you invincible? It's just dumb.
what?
It's dumb.
Nah, I mean, if you're using Sora, because Sora, he actually rides all of the Dream Eaters.
No, I know.
So, or they help him out, and they all help him out in different ways.
Mhm.
So that's why that's what I liked about Sora.
Yeah.
With Riku though, Riku's was different. Instead the Dream Eaters would cause like Keyblade transformations, just like in Birth by Sleep, which was what I liked. I was like,
Which I didn't.
yay.
I didn't like on the opposite
I
end of the
love
coin.
I love that. I didn't like Sora's transformations the first time I played it, but then the second time I played it, like since
Yeah.
I was unlocking more Dream Eaters,
Mhm.
I kind of like started looking into more of the other Dream Eaters, and I was like, oh wow, this is pretty cool. And then whenever two of my Dream Eaters would like have their gauge filled, like I would just use because you have a special ability that you can use
Mhm.
once both of them are charged.
Yeah.
Like their abilities combine, and you get like a huge attack, and
Yeah.
I just loved it. Oh my gosh!
And also I have a big problem with the worlds in this game, which I flat out do not like a lot of the worlds in this one. Tron I don't like. Tron is bad. Tron is badly designed.
I don't hate it, but you get lost really easily.
Yeah, it's badly designed. It's just like that one I understand feeling empty and cold. That one it's like okay, that one's in a computer. That's the theme of the movie, whatever. But Hunchback of Notre Dame is such a wasted opportunity. Like they really should have saved that one for Kingdom Hearts 3. They really should have saved that one.
If you think about it, all the Disney worlds are somewhat empty,
Yeah, but
even in the console ones as well.
they are, but for some reason in this one, they just feel so empty and so small that they don't even feel like worlds to me. They just, I don't know what they feel like, but it's just, I don't get the complete experience with these worlds.
That's how I felt when during some of the other worlds in the console ones. On Pride Lands, like,
no,
the main characters,
at least Pride Lands gives you more of a diverse location, and it doesn't. It's Pride Lands is meant to feel empty because it's Scar's domain. It's that I understand, but in Hunchback of Notre Dame, one of the things I love about the movie is how enormous its scale is, and I get why they did it in Dream Drop Distance, because they're like, oh, we want to use the 3D effects, woo! But when you're playing it on the PS4, it's just dead. It's just DOA. And really, like, from the stuff that I've seen of 3, I felt like 3 could have been a much better game to use, to have with Hunchback of Notre Dame. Because Hunchback of Notre Dame, like, its world is so great, but it's such a wasted opportunity. Probably the only two worlds I really like in this game are Traverse Town, which I really like because they're using The World Ends With You, which is a really good game, by the way. And Symphony of Sorcery, which I think is a fantastic world. Like, I love that world. And it makes me angry that I gotta go through fucking 4 or 5 equally uninteresting worlds, and then I have to get the Symphony of Sorcery, which thankfully they saved the best one for last, because that is the best one, the best Disney world in the bunch. But all the other ones, like Country of the Musketeers, no,
I like Country of the Musketeers. I like that movie.
I don't like that movie. I find it annoying.
I love that movie.
It's the world is boring. Pinocchio. How many goddamn times do we have to go to Monstro in this fucking series? I'm sick of Monstro. I'm sick of Pinocchio.
I didn't hate Monstro in this one.
Prankster's Paradise is okay, I guess, but just Monsters.
No, I like Prankster's Paradise.
Oh. What's the other one? Tron, not very good. What's the other?
The grid, one. I didn't hate it, but it was very complicated to get through.
I did not like the grid.
The navigation was really bad.
I did not like the grid. But I just do not like the Disney worlds in this one, and they make the grinding feel even more like. I just don't.
Something I'll never understand from you. But then again,
I'll never understand how anyone can like these worlds. They're dull as shit. Okay, going into the story, which we're already almost at the 30-minute mark, and we haven't even gone on to the next game. But I have, this is the point in the series where, okay, in the past games, the lore is already kind of convoluted, but you can follow it. You can be like, okay, I get it for the most part. This is the one where the lore starts to teeter on flying off the rails, where they bring in the concept of time travel and the fucking reason why Organization 13 actually exists, and we got the Somebodies are back, and we've got Maleficent and Pete are back, and it's like, okay, I get that it's a bridge to 3, because it literally says that in the credits that this game leads to 3, but it's, it's a mess in some points, and it just.
I didn't understand it the first time I played it.
I was like, what the fuck when I first played it? It's just this like convoluted shit where then Riku dives into Sora's heart, and Sora's in the darkness, and Riku gets information from this data version of not Master Ansem, but Ansem the Wise, and they over convolute an already convoluted lore and narrative. It frustrates me in that regard, but I really like other aspects of the story. It's just this particular point where they bring in time travel, I'm like, okay. It doesn't feel like Nomura thought it out very well.
Oh my god. Oh yeah, can you remind me again why Sora's clothes were different? Were in his two clothes and
It's two clothes. You mean in his one clothes?
okay, no, because I remember you telling me that Sora's story takes place in a dream within a dream, and
Yeah.
apparently Riku's is just a dream.
Well,
I don't know. I get confused, like with what the hell is going on, where they're at.
yeah, Riku's is a dream, and then Sora's is a dream within a dream. Because
Okay.
or Riku no, or I think it's the other way around where might be the other way around because I know they make this is what frustrates me. So Riku is a Dream Eater in this basically. Like he is there to that's why he's got the Dream Eater sigil on his back.
No, yeah.
He's a Dream Eater. He's there for Sora. That's why again it makes narrative sense why when one is sleeping, the other one is active, and they've got that X mark on Sora to track him throughout his time there, and then they've got Zemnis and Ansem and Xehanort, a young Xehanort all around, and a young
Okay,
Xehanort
how
is
come
from
Sora's
time.
clothes changed to his Kingdom Hearts 2 clothes in that one cutscene?
They don't. In which one? Oh, in the world that never was.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. Who knows? I think maybe because he was in another realm of sleep or something.
Yeah, because then I see
I
him
don't.
crashing down, and then he's all like, "Was that real?"
Well, then
And
he's
then you
back
see,
to his
and
then he's back
and
to his younger self. Then
and then you see Bragg, and he's all like, "No, that was a dream." And then I'm like, "What?" I'm confused.
I
I'm
think cause
confused.
I think cause he was in his heart or something like that. That's why he's able to see Shion, and that's why Roxas is able to react to seeing Shion, and that's why he's able to
I
be
don't know.
Ven and then see Aqua and Terra, and
I
it's
don't know.
just
That whole part confused the fuck out of me. I was like, "What the fuck?" Like, I know they dove down into the worlds that were basically the worlds were dreaming, so they drove into the worlds as dreams. That's
so
where
fucking
that's what they were doing, right?
yeah, into the sleeping worlds
Yeah.
to acquire the power to wake hearts. Well, that's and Sora fails to get it, which that's actually one of the things I like about this. I like that Sora loses, not just the Mark of Mastery exam. I like that he is put in actual serious danger of being turned into Xehanort in this. I like that. I think that is cool. I think that's a cool idea to have that. And I like that this is kind of the final endpoint in Riku's arc in accepting darkness in his heart, where he grows as a person in this, and he becomes stronger, and he proves not only others, but he proves to himself that he is worthy of wielding a Keyblade, and he is more than worthy of being a Keyblade master as well.
No,
I
yeah.
really like that aspect of it.
Yeah, looking back, I mean, the first time I played it, I was kind of pissed because, I didn't play the other Kingdom Hearts games, but now I kind of like realized why Nomura did that because it was more like it felt like more like Riku was the hero in this game
Yes,
than Sora
absolutely.
was.
Yeah,
Sora was.
this is more or less Riku's game,
No, yeah,
which
definitely,
makes me wish
definitely,
they just didn't have Sora in it.
definitely, it is.
Um,
But what was it? No, yeah. Story wise, okay, wait, but okay, they say those worlds are sleeping because they
mhm,
fell into darkness, but it's
mhm.
like, I mean, if Sora was able to visit Traverse Town in the previous games, then did Traverse Town fall into darkness again? Is that why it's sleeping? And then you can, I don't.
Um, because Traverse Town is a world that appears for people lost. So, because Sora and Riku are taken off track by Ursula, that might be why Traverse Town appears for because in the sleeping world, because Traverse Town is a world that presents itself to people who are lost, whose worlds are destroyed. So
Hmm.
they are lost. So then Traverse Town appears as like a guiding point for them.
Okay, yeah. But Traverse Town isn't destroyed, it's just
No.
sleeping.
Well, I don't even think this Traverse Town is the real one. I think it is like the sleeping. That's why the theme music is different. That's why the World Ends With You characters are in it instead of the Final Fantasy ones. I think it's just a different Traverse Town.
I don't know.
No, it's just a different Traverse Town. That's really all it is.
I guess. And then the other part that I don't understand is, okay, if all these worlds fell asleep,
Mm-hmm.
how the hell is freaking Yen Sid's tower there when you can visit it in
Because
the actual
that's
real world?
because that's a different world. It's not connected to Symphony of Sorcery, and I think because they've got different versions of these characters in the past. Like they've got Mickey in the Country of Musketeers, who recognizes who Sora, not who Sora is, but the Keyblade, and he's like, "Hey, I'm here on a secret mission. Don't fuck this up for me." So Mickey knows what he's doing. Similar with Mickey, it's like in the past. It's like a flashback to when Mickey was training with Yen Sid.
No, yeah, it was.
So that's why.
No, yeah.
I like that. I like that Lee is in it. Lee is a cool
Okay.
character. I like
Okay,
that
wait,
Axel
wait.
didn't fully die.
Okay, wait. Brief overview.
What?
So
Okay.
all these worlds fell asleep because the darkness took over the world, right?
Sure. Why not? To be
I want
honest,
the correct answer. Gosh damn it!
I don't. This is what frustrates me about Dream Drop Distance is that like the lore is already confusing, and then they just fuck it up. Not fuck it up, but they muddle it even more with this one.
Gosh damn it, Nomura! He must be on acid.
It's
or
only gonna
something.
get.
What
It's only gonna get worse from here on out. It's only gonna get worse with Key. It's only gonna get worse with Point 2. It's only gonna get worse with 3. So it's just.
I guess Kingdom Hearts is just one franchise we'll enjoy but never understand completely. Then
Well, that's why like people joke that even if you read these videos you're still not going to get it. No, really. If I've been playing this series for over fucking 13 years and I still don't understand parts of it. Like and there are answers out there. It's just you really have to dig beneath the surface to find them.
It's like it's a lot of deep thinking. It feels like a philosophy class, and then I'm like,
no, I wouldn't.
fuck.
I wouldn't go that far. It's not like Nier Automata or something, but it's convoluted from a narrative standpoint, not a thematic standpoint. Thematic standpoint, it's very, very simplistic. About as simplistic as you can get. It's just narratively, it's convoluted.
Reason why some people who barely get into the franchise can't even get into it. They're like, what the fuck is going
And the
on?
dialogue is just fucking goofy in a lot of these. So that's another reason why people can't get into it.
I feel, oh my gosh. But please, if anyone out there who hasn't gotten into the franchise, please just give it a chance.
Don't start with Dream Drop Distance. If you start with Dream Drop Distance is gonna turn you the fuck away.
If you're gonna start with the original.
Start with 1. Absolutely, start with 1.
I will always recommend start with 1.
So then we get to, the real reason why Organization 13 exists.
Oh yeah.
Which is
the first time I played, I didn't understand what the fuck was happening, and then finally you tell me what it was as I was playing it, and then I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah. Which is just like, what the fuck?
Okay.
Yeah.
So, gosh damn it, I keep getting confused. So the lie was that
the lie that Bragg, Zigbar, and Zemnis knew that nobodies really do have hearts. Even when the empty shell is still there, a substitute will form, which is what Zemnis says. So that whole time that Axel and Roxas and Xion were hanging out, they really did have hearts. Like, they really did, even though they believed they didn't.
Pretty much all of Organization 13 had hearts.
Yeah, well, no, they have hearts. All of them have hearts. But because they were lied to when they became nobodies by Zemnis, they feel like that they need to conquer Kingdom Hearts in order to get hearts. That's the whole reason why that they were taking the hearts of the captured hearts of the Heartless to make a fake Kingdom Hearts. That's the reason they gave them, so they could get hearts. But the real reason was that they needed 13 substitutes to split, play host to Xehanort's split heart, which is the whole
Yeah,
point, which is the whole purpose of 3, is where we're gonna get
and
the
in
13 darknesses.
yeah, and in the end, not all of them were successful. Only
No.
some of them were.
No.
Some of them were.
Yep.
Yeah, but only some of them became the real people. But the ones that didn't become real people, those were the ones that were successful for Xehanort.
Correct. Yes.
Oh my gosh, holy shit.
Yeah. And then
Xehanort.
it ends with them rescuing Sora before he gets turned into the final vessel.
That would have been scary. Imagine an actual Xehanort.
Soranort? That'd be awesome. I'd love that.
A Soranort?
Soranort would be cool.
Yeah, Vanitas.
No, that's not the same. And then Riku dives into Sora's heart and rescues him. And then Ansem the Wise digitized himself into Sora, which okay. And he gives him a clue as to where to find the Lost Masters, and then they wake up and they have a party, and it's revealed that Lee can now has a Keyblade of his own, and then Sora failed the Mark of Mastery exam, but Riku won, and he's now Master Riku now, which is cool. And then Sora leaves and goes back to the sleeping world to say hi to the Dream Eaters that are complete pricks. And that last scene, the very last scene, we get a shot inside of Castle Oblivion of Ventus, barely smiling, and it looks like his eyes are about to kind of like slowly open up a little bit, and then it cuts. And it's like, God damn it, Nomura.
He's gonna wake up.
Yeah, he.
We all know.
Well,
Ventus
we'll see.
Gonna wake up.
We'll see. And then the secret movie.
The secret movie. It's revealed Kairi can wield a Keyblade, and they're gonna train her as well.
Yes, which finally, thank God, my girl Kairi has gotten the short end of the stick throughout this entire franchise, and she's finally gonna become a Keyblade wielder. About fucking time.
Yeah, sure.
That's really all I've got for Dream Drop Distance.
Yeah, that's really all I got too.
Yeah.
Gosh damn it! Even talking to you sometimes, I'm pretty sure you get like frustrated with explaining
I get
things.
frustrating, which yeah. I do get frustrated. Which
yeah.
Overall, I think Dream Drop Distance is.
I know.
Fine.
I know. Even though I still like don't know exactly how to explain the whole purpose of Organization 13. Like I do understand like what the hell is going on. Like one.
That's the easiest part.
Yeah, I know, but like still okay. So Organization 13 was lied to, thinking that none of them were able to have hearts, but in the end, they always had hearts.
Yes.
And they were only being tested to see which vessels were qualified to Xehanort to like divide his hearts into.
Yes.
The ones that turned into real people were obviously failed.
Mm-hmm.
The ones that didn't, Xehanort put his heart into them, and they became half Xehanort. And then that was the real reason for Organization 13.
Correct. Yes.
Oh my gosh damn it!
All right.
The thing with me is I ask questions like too deeply. There's like still some things.
That's fine. That's
whatever.
That's fine. That's the whole fucking point of this thing.
Fuck this lore.
All right. So we're on a little bit of a time limit as far as talking about Key. Key is a mobile game. If Dream Drop Distance convoluted the lore even further, this one cranks it up to 10, where we go like all the way like thousands of years ago into the past, where we find out that the worlds, we're all connected at one point, and there are these 5 foretellers all talk about this prophecy, blah 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 blah. It's a mobile game, and the lore is completely fucked in this one. That's all. It's really all I've got for back cover and Dream and not Dream and Key. I think Key is actually a decent mobile game. It's grindy, it's exploitative, absolutely, but it is better than most of the other ones out there. At least it's decent to play.
I like Key's story, but I just don't like the fact that like it makes the lore more convoluted.
Yes, and it doesn't help that the episodes are stretched out between the key episodes, no pun intended, are so like thinly stretched out between all of these filler missions that are designed just to frustrate the player into spending more money.
All the Disney worlds are filler.
Yeah.
They're all filler. Like the things that are not happening outside the Disney world,
yeah,
it's not filler. Like,
yeah.
the only important parts you really need are just the stuff that's not happening in the Disney world.
Yeah. So okay, let's pinpoint what we gotta say, because we're, like I said, we're on a little bit of a time limit.
Okay, we are on a time limit.
So what are the most important parts of back cover and key?
Okay, well,
what is going? We don't have to get into everything, but what do you think is going to play a part in 3?
Isn't that being saved for the next episode?
No. I mean, like, what do you think in back cover is going to be important to 3? Like, we're talking about back cover.
I mean, obviously they do mention the Keyblade War.
Yes.
I mean, Xehanort is most likely trying to cause another Keyblade War.
Yes.
Most likely, he is trying to cause another one.
Not most likely, he is. He wants to bring about another Keyblade War. That's the whole point.
Yeah, that's the whole point. 13 Darknesses versus 7 Lights.
Yeah.
Yeah. We might... Okay, obviously, the Masters, he can still see through everything because...
Yes, because that's Xehanort's Keyblade that he gives to Luxu.
No, Luxu gives it. Somehow he got
No, the Master of Masters gives Luxu his Keyblade, and then Luxu passes it on to like generation to generation to generation, and you actually see that Keyblade hanging on the wall in the E3 2015 trailer when young Xehanort and young Ericus are playing chess or whatever the fuck that game is. You see it.
I didn't see that.
You see it on the wall. It's that Keyblade with the eye in it.
Yeah, but we don't even know where Luxu is unless.
No, we don't.
We don't, because we did see him in the back cover story. In back cover, we did see during the events of Birth by Sleep, he was there.
We see him very briefly in a fragmentary passage at the very beginning. We see him just standing there with the Keyblade. That's really all we see of him.
Yeah, but that was all during Birth by Sleep, right?
Yes, that was during Birth by Sleep.
Yeah, he was there. Luxu was there. He was holding the black box as well, which we don't know we don't know what's in that black box.
I have a theory as to what the black box is, but I'll get to that in well, I don't know if I'll talk about it because it's never mind.
It's best to be saved for the next episode.
Well, not even the next episode. I don't know what it's because if I talk about it, it's gonna because you haven't seen some of the trailers, so no.
Okay, yeah, better not. Nope,
No.
Please don't. As for the foretellers, are all the foretellers dead?
I think they're all dead because we don't see them ever again past back cover and Key when the Keyblade War happens and they die.
Yeah, because after the Keyblade War happens, like you don't really see them die. Like they all just vanish. Like we don't know where they're at.
Well, they die. I mean, they die. It's probably the only time a character in this series dies. It's all these cute kids that they're killing each other in this war. It's like the cutest slaughter I've ever seen in anything.
Well, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess they all die.
They die. I'm pretty sure they all die.
No, yeah, it's a Keyblade War. And then also, we don't know where the fuck the Master of Masters went off to.
No.
We don't know where he is.
And again, I have a theory about that too, but I can't talk about it with you.
No, yeah, please don't.
But
as for everything else, the fucking thing that fucking shocks me the most is this. Okay, Keyblade War happens, and afterwards you see what's his name? Edmund?
Yeah, Edmund.
Edmund, he finally, or That's his name, right? Edmund, or is it Ephema?
Who cares? It's that kid that pops up every so often.
Okay, what Ephema? Yeah, it's Ephema. There we go. He shows up, and then he tells him, "Oh, I'm from." He says that like he's in another world, and then apparently it's like an alternate. It's like an alternate like timeline where the Keyblade War never happened, and they create a new like organization called like the Dandelions, and they have 5 new foretellers,
It's ridiculous.
which is basically Ventus is one of them, which I'm like, how the fuck is Ven one of them?
Because that's where Ventus was before he became Xehanort's apprentice.
Okay, I guess. And then in the end, as it keeps going further, apparently they explained that it's, I don't know, all the worlds are data. I don't know, because you do see Maleficent in that version of the timeline. Because I believe she was trying to, I forgot what she was trying to do, but she went back during that time in that timeline. She went during that timeline, and because like in the first game, remember she got stabbed by Riku. Her heart came out.
Yes.
So because of that, she was able to time travel as well because she left her body behind. So she time traveled
Oh
to
God,
that
we
timeline.
didn't even talk about the rules of time travel. Oh my
I
God.
know, that's another one.
Oh God.
And so then Maleficent time travels to that timeline. I guess she was trying to attempt to like get all the 7 princesses of heart again, but it didn't work out for her.
Yeah.
And then I guess you see her, and then you see like you see that one person in the darkness, like in Enchanted Dominion, like telling her something, and then I guess like that's where it ends.
Yeah.
That's what I saw in the video.
Yeah,
I don't know.
that's how Maleficent is able to time travel, because she gives up her body basically.
Yeah, I know. That video, I was rewatching it right now. I didn't finish rewatching it, but that video, I'm so thank you to this Damo279. Thank you for making this video, because
Yeah, thank you, seriously. I sure as shit am not gonna go through Key to find every little bit. I'll have some other poor soul do that.
you can skip a lot of the missions now and make it through, but it'll still take time. And also, what's the point of going through all the Disney worlds when it's all filler?
Because it's designed like a mobile game. It's designed like a mobile game first before it's an actual Kingdom Hearts thing. Like, that's the whole point. It employs the basic psychological tricks and gameplay tricks of a mobile game, where it's encouraging you to spend more money to make it less frustrating. That's the whole point. That's why it has no goddamn business being in a $60 game. Capcom, EA.
Why couldn't they just
Activision?
turn it into a movie? I mean, they did with back cover.
They did. Like, it was fucking boring. It was just a bunch of assholes just arguing with each other for an hour, and then when it gets to the point where the Keyblade War, it's like you must run away so the Keyblade War will begin, and then it just ends. And it's like, what the fuck, really? We don't even get to see the Keyblade War. We don't even get to see any combat. We barely get to see any combat. The only combat we see is between those two really bitchy foretellers, and that's about it. Like, any other point where we see combat is nothing.
It was Ira and Aced that were fighting, I believe.
Sure, the Jaguar one and the Unicorn one.
Yeah, that's Ira.
Sure, those ones.
Ira and Aced, those were the ones.
I can't believe you remember those fucking names.
I just barely memorized their names.
Oh my God.
There's so many. I haven't
They better
even
not.
memorized all their
They
names.
better not be. They better not be in 3. The only fucking people from Key I want to see in 3 are Chithiri and Charithi, whatever the fuck it's called, and Lushu, and maybe the Masters of Masters. That's it. I don't want to see Idra or Elbow or Arm or Elmo or whatever the fuck those other characters are called. I don't give a fuck about any of them. They're annoying and I hate them. I don't like them. They're stupid. So, like, the most important things, obviously the black box is gonna play a part, because Maleficent is looking for it. Organization 13 is looking for it. So that black box is super important.
No, yeah, we know that black box is important.
Yeah. The thing that I forgot to mention with Dreamed Up Distance, and I'll talk about with back cover as well. The shame about these is that I think they have some of the best music in the whole series in these, and yet they're stuck behind these fucking convoluted, caveat-laden things. And it sucks. I think Yoko Shimomura did an amazing job with these two games, back cover, game. And I guess like other composers contributed as well, which like the guy that made the score for Chrono Trigger has contributed some of it. I think the guy that even did the score for World Ends With You contributed music, which is like, fuck yeah, please. And I think all three of them are doing the score for Kingdom Hearts 3, which I'm like, yes, please, thank God, please, yes, thank you. I'm done. I'm done talking about back cover. I don't want to talk about it anymore.
You really.
I don't. That's the thing. That's the thing.
I love the story, but gosh damn it.
I don't even love the story.
At the same time, it convolutes the lore even more. Like
that's why I don't love the story, because it's so. It just feels like it's crammed in there just because. Like I know. I know Nomura makes these games thinking about the next games in mind, but it's like dude, there has to be an endpoint to this. There has to be an endpoint to this fucking lore. It's too much. That's too much, man.
He's on acid. For all we know, he probably gets high while.
He just doesn't know how to control himself with this lore. I don't think drugs have anything to do with that. It's just he does not know how to control himself. He doesn't have focus. And that's one of the things that worries me about 3, which we'll get to the next episode. But Nomura he's a great game designer. He's a great storyteller. He is a great creator of games, but he does not have focus when it comes to his own lore.
I know. Oh my gosh.
So that's me.
Okay. On one final note for Kido.
Okay.
One final note for Kido.
Okay.
I do know the whole point of back cover. As I was watching it, the whole point of the masters giving all of the foretellers their roles was to get them to argue. He obviously planned all that out.
Yeah, he planned because he's not trying to get them to stop the Keyblade War, because he knows that their fighting will lead to the war. So that he's just doing what Destiny has foretold already. Which he knows what's up, which is what makes him an interesting character, especially with him being all jokey and goofy. It's an interesting contrast to how knowledgeable and how wise he actually is, which I like, and I wish we knew more about the Master of Masters, but I guess that's a good thing, how secretive he is, which makes him a more interesting character.
He's an evil. We already know he's evil. All right.
I don't think he's evil. I just think he's just a slave to Destiny. That's really it. I don't think he's evil. I think Luciu is more going to be a villain in 3 than...
No, we know Luciu's most likely pretty evil.
And Chirithy is confirmed to be in 3.
Chirithy is in 3?
Yeah, Chirithy is in 3. Yeah. I think it's on the cover, actually.
Yeah. Wait, the Chirithy is supposed to be a Dream Eater, right?
No, Chirithy is a or maybe it's not on the cover. Whatever.
Because the Master created the Chirithy to assist the Keyblade wielders, but then if the Keyblade wielder falls into darkness, the Chirithy will turn into a dark Chirithy.
I guess it's a... Oh yeah, it is a Dream Eater. I guess, because when it appears, the Dream Eater theme pops up. So, yeah, that's really it for me.
Yeah, that's really it for me. This lore, we can keep talking about this on our time, but then at the end of the day, we're never gonna understand everything to this franchise. We really aren't.
Okay, so thank you to everyone who watched. Then from this point, one episode left. And the next episode, we're going to talk about Fragmentary Passage, and we're going to talk about just Kingdom Hearts 3. We're going to talk about our predictions, what we're looking forward to it most, our concerns, all that. So that'll be the final the fifth and final episode of this. So thank you as always, Richard, for joining me.
Of course, as always.
And we will see you all on the final episode of Diving into Kingdom Hearts next week.
All
Bye.
right. Take care, everyone.